Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with The Nation. Wike to Rivers PDP. Awaits directive on presidential poll. Tinubu has no plan to return capital to Lagos, says APC. Petrol's ex-depot price now 210 naira per litre. NMMA honors encomiums for The Nation. Contempt court jails IG for 3 months. Adeleke backtracks on sack, demotion orders. Federal workers to enjoy 14-day paternity leave. Senegal through to round of 16 at Qatar World Cup. Okay, let me start with the... Go ahead.
Yeah, because I took it yesterday, the newest governor of Osun State, we talked about that he had sacked 12,000 workers and dethroned monarchs, and 3 monarchs. And his spokesperson, Mr. Olawale Rashid, yesterday was speaking on a radio show, and he said that that he was misquoted, or the executive orders were misunderstood, that what the governor is doing actually is to review those appointments that were made, especially appointments that were made since July 2017, and just to ensure legality and due process, and that nobody has been sacked. So I think it's important that we understand that. So no one has been sacked. They're just going to sit down to review these appointments and just make sure that they were legal and all the processes that were meant to be followed were followed. Right.
So the APC Presidential Campaign Council yesterday debunked all the rumors that have been said about the standard bearer Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I took one yesterday. That's why I want to take this story. Daily Sun had covered that Asiwaju was going to France, was going to America, different countries to meet with leaders, and they've totally debunked a lot of these stories. Another of this story is the fact that he plans to move the capital to Lagos State. And he said, the statement by the director of media says, Asiwaju has absolutely no plan, or contemplated any plan to have such plan, because it's so ultra unconstitutional. And he said that after they've exhausted all their campaigns of calumny, that they are now circulating all this misinformation according to the field reports. They're also saying that you know, they had started with all the other lies. So, because I took that story in Daily Sun yesterday, and it was totally false. Asiwaju has no plans to go to the US. He was not. There was a Photoshop of him with Joe Biden that was also wrong.
Wow.
Still, the man is in Abuja.
Well, that was Photoshopped?
Yeah, it was Photoshopped.
Whoa.
The man is in Abuja, and he's still in Abuja.
Oh, my God.
There were so many stories out
pictures
there.
of him appearing
all over the place. And the man is still in Nigeria. He hasn't left, and it's on the way to Bayelsa. So there's like, there's a campaign schedule that's been published. Is there, you can know his plans. He has absolutely no plan to do all these things that they're saying. Okay, another story.
All right, so the federal government has begun the implementation of the 14-day paternity leave for 7 male officers whose spouse deliver a baby. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade, announced this in a circular and said the leave will be has taken effect from November 25th. And he also went ahead to say that once your wife delivers a baby, if you're a 7 male officer, you have 14 working days to, take a rest, and you can only take that once in every 2 years,
So
and
your wife must not born
for a maximum of 4 children. So after 4 children, you're not going to take that again. But, and it also give, for people who are going to adopt children, say if you adopt and the baby is under 4 months old, you also have 14 days paternity leave. I think this is amazing. Some men are actually quite helpful. I know what Miriam is going to say, but keep that. Men are actually quite helpful. And for those men who would, support their wives that time, they need to be in the house and pay attention.
Well, it's a topic we can discuss another time. Let's move on.
Let me take the story of Governor Wike.
Yes,
Governor Wike inaugurated. Governor Wike has lots of projects. It's as if they lined up the projects. Almost every week, back to back, is opening another project. So this is Rukaku 130 Ogbodu Link Road.
Yeah.
And while he was launching, which I know I mispronounced, but you forgive me, while he was opening that, inaugurating that project, he mentioned the fact that people of Rivers State, and they said, hey, that they should vote PDP for governorship and for parliamentary. But regarding presidency, they should wait until he's still trying to decide.
Decipher.
and that when he decides, he will let them know which direction to go. Remember, he's not hiding the fact that he and the G5 governors still stand on what they've proposed to PDP, that the IU must go, and if he doesn't go, they are talking. He said he's in talks with other presidential candidates to find which he would be pitching his tent with. The Senator Rabi Kwakwanso, who is also contesting under NNPP, said that nobody can win presidency without Rivers, Kano, and Lagos. And PDP has not even, they don't have any income of those places.
We've also seen predictions in the past sometimes. So let us not always go to bank with that. Moving on now to the Punch. Import duty controversy, private jet owners sue government over 30 billion naira tax. Herbalist steals money, Beheads Lotto operator. NDLEA nabs suspected drug baron, brother flees. Ramfak, EFCC uncover all firms $205 million unremitted funds. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, Ogun, Oyo deploy drones against kidnappers. 87% of Nigerians' rural roads deplorable, says World Bank. Depots sell 2020 per litre, that's 2020 naira to the litre. Marketers project 350 naira to the litre by pump price. Budget pardoning allegation senseless, says Finance Minister. Okay, which story?
NDLEA.
Please.
So they have arrested a drug baron, and his name is, I need to take the story slowly, Onyegala Chi Stephen. He and his brother are into,
Drug trafficking and
selling illicit drugs, cocaine, heroin, Mpuru Miri, all sorts, different kinds of cannabis. Anyways, they said that they had been looking for them since 2013. In 2013, when NDLEA tried to arrest them, they had organized a mob and they attacked NDLEA officials to the point that there's one of them that's still in the hospital since that 2013 attack. Wow. And they said 4 months ago, the NDLEA boss had also, renewed the bid to bring these people to book. So they were able to trail them and arrested them. They did like a sting operation on both their locations, but the older brother, they said, narrowly escaped. And the amount of drugs, the types of drugs that they are selling, knowing that they have been on their trail since 2013, the confidence and the audacity to keep doing the business. And of course, they said they have armed militia in their houses that protect them. It's Mexico in our country. Wow.
It's really, I would have loved to read that story also. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our review, but well done to NDLEA. So owners of foreign registered private jets, comprising of top business moguls, leading commercial banks, other rich Nigerians have dragged the federal government to court concerning a 30 billion naira tax that the government is demanding now. The customs had tried to ground these 91 private jets, but due to interagency rivalry, disagreements, and relevant government agencies not agreeing, it was difficult for them to ground these 91 private jets. Now, 17 of these jet owners, who are also business owners, bank owners and all that, many of them register their planes abroad. And they do that, the jet owners, they're seeking a judicial review of the tax because they feel that because their planes are registered abroad, they do that because of lower insurance taxes that they have to pay. And when they do that, it's like whenever they want to sell their planes, they can still the value can still be retained. But I guess if you register it in Nigeria, it's a Nigerian plane, so the value goes down. So because of that, they register abroad. And they're saying and asking the court to review that, can we still pay taxes in Nigeria if our airlines are registered in a foreign country? And that's what the court has to contend with. But it's quite, for me,
and the plane is operating domicile here.
Yes, and they're being hanged there. They come to Nigeria, they use it within our, and you don't want to pay taxes in Nigeria. I don't understand.
So where do you want to pay the tax, or you don't want to pay at all?
They want to pay it to foreign land because there is where their planes are registered.
No, that's wrong.
This is debatable, but I'm happy that they are trying to sue the federal government.
Could it be like a question of double taxation? If they're paying taxes there, they're asking them to pay taxes.
Why would you have a car in Nigeria and register it in America? Because I bought my car in America and I register it in America so that I only pay. It's just an interesting conversation. Most of us bring our cars from the US. We will not register it as an American car. You now bring the car, you drive it.
You're using it here and you don't want to.
Because you want to retain the value. Now be paying them taxes over there. Why would you?
There's a loophole in our law that allows that to
probably,
yeah. So I hope the
court will be able to sort it out.
Let's take another story in the Punch.
Yes, the human interest story. Herbalist Idowu Talabi has allegedly beheaded a Lotto operator, Isau Oluwatobiloba, for accusing him of stealing his money at their residence in Ogun State. So according to the story, they said the Lotto operator, accused the Tobiloba that day in the compound that he had entered his house and stolen his money. And so they started having an altercation, but neighbors were able to wade in and sorted the matter, and everybody left. So that afternoon, I think the herbalist now told the neighbors, the people in the compound, that he wanted to do a form of ritual cleansing for them, that they should leave their doors open. Apparently, he had a plan. So the wife of the dead person went to visit her mother, then went for vigil, and said she got back early hours of the morning. The whole place was dark. She was calling out the husband's name. Nobody responded. And then she just put on the light and saw the husband on the bed beheaded in a pool of his own blood. So she quickly went to meet this Oluwatobiloba and dragged him and told him that he was the one that killed the husband. He couldn't deny it, but then the police got involved in the matter, and he confessed that he actually beheaded this young man, that the man feels very pompous, he's always acting like he's rich, and so he just wanted to show him a lesson and decided to take his life. It's just a very painful story, what we deal with in this country.
And another criminality that I think the government is trying to get the hang of is the Lagos-Ibadan expressway kidnappings that have been taking place, and the Ogun State governor was speaking to an Abuja-based media house, that they now have over 30 patrol teams that have been formed between Oyo and Ogun State to tackle the problem of kidnapping along the Lagos-Ibadan expressway. They also mentioned that they will be flying drones to oversee that area. Also mentioned the fact that they've taken away the element of surprise where people come out from the bushes by clearing extensively the roadside. So the bush that usually would have been the hideout for them.
Like he had mentioned yesterday.
That they've cleared both areas so that they can reduce element of surprise. They've cleared 50 meters on each side, making it difficult for people to hide along the bush area. And that is a partnership between Oyo and Ogun State. And we're hoping to see towards the festive season, people will feel safe to travel along those roads.
Daily Sun, no amount of attacks will stop credible elections, says INEC. Nwanyanwu demands Southeast Governors Ohaneze Pale over Enugu headsmen attack. Rivers will soon decide presidential candidates to vote, says Governor Wike. Fresh trouble looms in verses as ASU protests half salary. Rescue Chibok girls. We love our children and hate their fathers. Police tear gas protesters demanding CGN's resignation in Abuja. Governor Adeleke denies sacking workers in traditional rulers. Military set to prosecute 886 Boko Haram fighters. Court sentences IGP to 3 months in prison for contempt. Thanks. Which one are we going to?
Let me talk about Chibok girls that have been rescued. Yeah. We started talking about them yesterday, and Daily Sun did a report on a few of them. But one particular story stands out. Her name is Rejoice, and she's 24 years old, and she was among the Chibok girls that were abducted and rescued. She said that her story is so sad. She was taken, defiled by Boko Haram, forced into a marriage to one of the Boko Haram people called Musa, had children for him. She says that, yes, he treated her well, he fed her, and that also she had to be married to him because for those who refused that, they were severely dealt with. And that another thing she regrets, so she regrets that marriage, but she knew that she had to do that. And secondly, she regrets that they were forced into Islam as well. And she says that for her children, she was asked, does she ever feel like maybe giving them up and just, she says, these are her blood. She loves them dearly, even though she cannot stand the father. But, she said she had a dream of becoming a doctor, and she hopes that she can still achieve that dream. There were other girls too, very young children in their early 20s who are mothers who all say, these children are mine, I love them, but the fathers,
How lives just changed drastically. Once the second year student
had dreams. Sometimes when we talk about them, we think they never even had any dreams. They were just,
she's 24, like years have gone past.
Okay, INEC is assuring Nigerians that regardless of the destruction of all the materials, especially a few that happened, I think one happened in Abeokuta not too long ago, where over 65,000 of their voter cards were destroyed. They're saying that they're going to go ahead with elections and nothing would deter them from having a successful election coming. He has assured that the destruction of some of these offices and electoral empire would ensure that there'll be credible polls in 2023 elections. Quite a few of their buildings have been lit up and destroyed But they are still saying they're going to fix it, and they're going to ensure that those who lost their PVCs will get their PVCs back before the time of voting comes.
Okay, so elder statesman Chief Emmanuel Iwanyanwu has waded into the herdsmen killing in Enugu communities, and they said they've seen a lot of deaths in series of attacks that have been happening in Ogun State. And so he's asking that the Southeast and the Igbo Apex group, that's Ohaneze and Igbo, to summon an emergency meeting of all political, religious, and traditional rulers in attendance so that they can resolve the incident of herdsmen in Enugu State. And I say it's so painful that, these, that initially they didn't have any issues with herdsmen. They had lived in that community with them for a very long time, and everybody was very communal. But right now, they just noticed that there are different people coming in form of herdsmen, and they are grazing into farms that, the citizens have, that they have probably gotten loans from the bank to, rear their crops, and then the cows will just get in, eat everything, and these people are left just like that. A lot of them have left their homes, they have left the village, they've been sacked out of their, communities just because of this herdsmen continuous attack. And so he's asking the federal government to do something about protecting the lives and property of the citizens, especially in Enugu State. He also went ahead to, talk about the flood victims, asking that the federal government finds a way to cushion the effects of all the people who have lost their homes, farmlands, and all that.
Okay, we don't have much time. Let's just be with Vanguard if there's anything important. Inspector General of Police, what, you have that story?
I do.
I was going to take it, but NDLEA nabs Abia drug kingpin. 2023, we're committed to credible polls in Nigeria. Adeleke Oyetola clash over sacked workers. IPOB Ohaneze, others blast minister for defending herders. An alleged partisanship, FCT police disrupt anti-CGN protest by CSO. Any story?
I have the RGP.
So the CGN story, there was a protest by the Coalition of Civil Societies of Nigeria in Abuja, and they were protesting against the CGN, saying that his statement in Rivers State was partisan. He made a statement that he felt was partisan, and they cannot have someone at that helm of judiciary being partisan. They don't want politics, so they held placards saying they don't want politics at the judiciary. They want free and fair election, and they want the judiciary process after the election to be a peaceful, non-partisan one. And they were tear-gassed away from the protest ground. Police came there, and there was tear gas shot into the air.
IGP, 3 months.
Yeah, did you have that
Yes,
story?
yes,
Please,
I
please.
picked
We
it.
have to wrap up, but quickly.
Okay, let me translate how quickly. So the IGP is being asked to spend 3 months in prison, has been sentenced to 3 months in prison for contempt of the court. So this has to do with a case that happened in 2011, October 21, was filed by Mr. Patrick, so sorry, I missed the name right now,
yes.
Okoli, and for being unlawfully dismissed and compulsorily retired in 1992. Anyways, so the court case was that with collaboration with the PSC, that he should be reinstated and also promoted. Yes. Anyway, IGP has responded. He says, why would he be, why would he not obey the rule of law and the court? First of all, he said that he mentioned, one of the reasons he mentioned, he says he's been busy. Secondly, there's also been a fact that the man's information on the data is not available on their data. Then there's another very important one. I hate the way you make me rush. Okay, so he says that he was 60, that he had also clocked 60 years. So the promotion had to be done by that's the Police Service Commission, and he had already clocked 60 years, and time had already passed, so those things could not be done. Anyways, it's better to read it. Yeah. The information is better stated in the papers. Yeah. No, he's explained himself, and I'm sure that...
Okay,